Hello everyone and welcome to the Open Pakistan webinar series. The Open Pakistan webinar series is an initiative of Open Programs for Pakistan. These programs provide professional development opportunities to English language learners and teachers all across Pakistan. These programs are offered by Regional English Language Office RELO at US Embassy Islamabad. These programs include open global online courses, massive open online courses, webinar series, and then engaging our alumni into different productive activities. In Pakistan, it is administered by Evolution. If you wish to stay updated about Relo Pakistan and its opportunities, you can visit www.facebook.com/Relo Pakistan. You can also subscribe to Relo Pakistan YouTube channel. If you wish to stay updated about Open Program for Pakistan, you can visit www.evolution.com.pk/eteacher. Under the series of 5, we are broadcasting our webinar for 5.5 and the topic for our webinar is Classroom Management and Discipline. The presenter for our today's webinar is Nazish Kawal. Nazish Kawal is currently working in Bickenhouse School System on the post of School Academic Coordinator. She has done Masters in English Literature from University of Punjab. She is certified professional as earned certificate of higher education in professional education. She kept on grabbing every single professional development opportunities that she could. She has earned a diploma in teaching with ICT, diploma in educational leadership from University of Cambridge. Apart from being EFL teacher, she has been working as a mentor trainer from the past 14 years. Ms. Nazish is an open and IBLP 2019 alumna who has completed professional development for teachers training course from the University of Arizona, fully funded by Regional English Language Office RELO at US Embassy Islamabad. So without any delay, I would like to welcome Nazish Kawal to present our webinar. It's all over to you, Nazish.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greetings to all of you right there who is watching me right now. And I'm here, Nazish Kamal. Once again, I'm going to present another webinar titled Classroom Management and Discipline. As the name suggests, is going to be very crucial for all the teachers out there who really want to have a very effective classroom management techniques and how to maintain a discipline in the classroom. Now, first of all, I would like to share the objectives of this webinar. So the webinar will enable participants to define classroom management. It's going to explain the importance of classroom management and demonstrate how classroom management can be achieved. And it's going to summarize the effective steps that needs to be taken to have an organized class. So I'm going to touch upon all these objectives one by one sequentially, and inshallah by the end of the webinar you all will be very well versed how to have a very organized and effective classroom management techniques to achieve the targets that is set for all the students. Now, if you talk about what is classroom management, I think that the classroom management embraces all actions teachers take to maintain a smooth, focused flow of activity for the purpose of nurturing learners, academic and personal development. This is a very kind of holistic definition that is comprised of all the ingredients that is required to have a very smooth classroom management. If you talk about in steps, you can see that it actually embraces the teachers to have a very smooth and focused flow of the activity. So if you do not have a proper classroom management, you will not be able to achieve a very smooth and focused flow of activity that is set for the students. And why? The only purpose is to nurturing learners, to make them learn, to make them understand what is going on in the classroom in order to have a very effective kind of academic and personal development. Now, classroom management and discipline. How will you, the teacher, deal with the discipline problems? I'm pretty sure that you might be using a lot of techniques in the classroom in order to have to deal with the discipline problems, to maintain a classroom, to make them learn in a very smooth and friendly environment. So, but I think that good management plans reduces the discipline problems and leave learners feeling positive about the class. So if you are a good manager in the classroom, it's going to reduce the discipline problems. I am pretty sure. Why does the discipline problems occur? It occurs why? Because we do not have the good management techniques, the plans, in order to the students can feel privileged and feel positive in the classroom. Now, effective classroom management is one of the greatest challenges facing teachers. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think so. The novice teachers, those who have recently joined the teaching profession, they might agree with me that the effective classroom management is one of the greatest challenges that is being faced by the teachers. Teachers must maintain a classroom environment that supports learning. Because why do we enter in the classroom? We enter into the classroom in order to have a learning in the classroom. But if you do not have a very positive classroom environment, you will not be able to achieve it. Now let's see. A poll of public attitudes rated lack of discipline as one of the top problem facing today's school. There is evidence that suggests that as much as 80% of all the discipline problems result from ineffective planning and teaching. So, whenever we have any kind of management problem in the classroom, we always blame the students right there who's sitting in the classroom that they do not have a kind of aptitude to learn in the classroom. But it is not the case. If you talk about the reasons, the problem, the background, if you come to know that it is actually lies with us teachers, those who have ineffective planning and teaching. Researchers point out that you can diminish the probability that you will face serious behavior problems when you plan and implement a management strategy before the school year begins. More teachers in Illinois lose their job because of too much or too little discipline than for any other reasons. So, in teachers, they also lose their jobs because they have a kind of too much or too less discipline problems for any other reasons. Now, space management. Now, once you enter into the classroom, the first thing that strikes to you, that comes to into your mind, the space management that is allocated in the classroom. Please consider the comfort level of your learners. What will be crowding, clutter, noise, excessive heat, or cold due to them? You have to look at these problems. These are I can say these are very basic personal problems. If the class is too much crowded, it's cluttered, the student is definitely going to feel that they are left out. They do not have much space, because in the classroom you have kinesthetic learners who wish to move around in the classroom and learn something. So if there's too much noise, this is going to disturb the classroom. Maybe if you can talk about the background noises that is coming out of the classroom or from the classroom, or if you talk about the temperature, the climate, if it's too hot or too cold, that is going to disturb the classroom. These are the very basic things that I'm talking about and starting from initially. Well, space. Display learners' work, schedules, rules, announcements, motivations, and display. So you have to display all the learners' work, the schedules, the rules, the announcement, and the motivational display. So whenever they enter into the classroom, they do not bug you and they do not ask you again and again quite frequently, what are we going to do today? What is the schedule for today? What are the rules that we're going to follow? Ma'am, when are you going to announce blah, 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 blah thing? And what about the motivational displays, that if you are going to behave nicely today, you will get a star. These are all should be displayed in the classroom and students should be aware of it. Now, floor space, configuration for the whole group, small group, activity centers. If you're going to have a whole group activity, so you should use and utilize the space well, effectively it is given to you. And if it is a small group activity, how are you going to arrange the class for a small group activity? And the activity centers are easily approachable to all the students, those who are going for the group work. Traffic patterns, how are students going to move around into the classroom? So you have to actually, intimate them whenever the too many students are coming to you and they have started moving into the classroom. You should have kind of a meter in your classroom that is going to tell you now heavy traffic is moving on, so you should take your seats back, or the low usage. then the teacher's desk, it should be always located in the back. So, so once, because it occupies a lot of space that can be utilized for some kind of learning or group activities. Equipment storage, equipment must be both secure and accessible. You know what happens whenever you're bringing the resources into the classroom? You are always very much, concerned about them. You may not break them. You may students, if what will happen, the students are going to access them. So I want that all the equipment should be very secure and accessible to the students, and they may feel, you may feel not, kind of threatened that you may break them or lose them. And time management, researchers have found a high percentage of time spent on non-instructional tasks. You know why? Because we come to the classroom and we started giving instructions about the classroom management, about the classroom rules, how to have a well-managed classroom. So a high percentage of time is always spent on the non-instructional activities. So that is the reason I have given you in advance that you should have all the instructions written in your classrooms. So students may not ask you again and again, time to time, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to do? What are the classroom rules? What are the announcements? Past. Teachers believe that students needed to be kept busy for good student behavior, do worksheets and seat work. In the past, we used to say that if you want to have a very good classroom management, you should make them occupy all the time in the classroom. No, make them do the worksheets, make them do the seat work and all that. But researchers reveal that students in classes where teachers spends more time on instructions learn more. So, but you should give them the instructions related to their task instead of spending your time on giving the instructions that are non-instructional tasks. Today, teachers must make sure the students are engaged in productive learning. So we need to plan activities that are authentic and that are motivating. Whenever I used to be a student, I believe that the students should be intrinsically motivated. You have to be motivated from inside, intrinsic movement, motivation. So that keeps you motivated, and then that makes you learn more in the classroom. Transitions, transitions occur when there is a shift from one activity and to another activity. When there is not a smooth transition from one activity to another activity, I must say that you are going to lose a lot of time of your lesson. Plan carefully, organize material in advance, give them clear instruction, and establish a time frame to finish. And instead of having all these activity being spoken orally all the time, have them on the kind of on a wall so students can refer back to them whenever they need it. Beginning class, perform routine admin duties, quickly establish a signal system to begin. All eyes on me, 1, 2, 3. So whenever you're going to give the instructions in the beginning of the classroom, you can say, you need to have all the eyes on me, and you can give the caution 1, 2, 3. It means that everybody is going to look at the teacher, and this is the instruction time. Lesson spacing. Lessons should move more briskly without excessive repetition. What do you do with learners who finish early? So, I think that if there are students who are going to complete their work early, plan some reinforcement tasks, extension tasks for them, so they may not create problem for others who are there on the task. And follow-up activities should not be more of the same. Providing assistance. Researchers show that teachers spend too much time working one-to-one with the students. 20 seconds is recommended. Must avoid doing the work for the learner. Provide one suggestion. Build confidence. Offer praise for successful small steps. Move on, but check back later for on-task behavior. So, whenever we're going to spend too much time on one-to-one with the students, so other students are going to feel neglected, and they will be busy in doing other activities that are not part of their lesson. And researchers are actually recommending 20 seconds per child. And you can return back to the same child and check back later, is he or she on the same task or not. Establishing routines and procedures, that is very, very important. If somebody is going to say me to do something out of the routine, I will feel quite bewildered or confused at that time that I may not be able to perform it. But if you're going to have a set routine in the classroom, you're going to plan, teach, and display procedures for handling recurring and if students are going to have predictable events in the classroom, what will learners do when they enter the classroom? Personal problem to discuss with the teacher, passing out and collecting work, daily attendance, sharpening pencils, using the restroom, etc., etc. If all these routines are set properly, students are not going to disturb you or raise a concern in between the lessons. Negotiations, that's very important. Are you comfortable in sharing power with members of your class? Yes, I think so that we should give them the power in the classroom to be they can feel a kind of privileged member of the classroom. Effective management is better conceived of a process involving negotiation between teachers and the learners. That is very, very important. You should not have a wall erected between you and the learners. No, a solution to any problem. We want experiences that lead to non-coercive self-discipline and self-control. What are the characteristics of negotiation? Learners are more apt to exercise self-control if they perceive environment as warm, trusting, and positive. You know, if they're going to feel they're going to feel they are here to, they are being listened to, they will feel definitely they will feel kind of positive energy in them. If allowed to make choices, they develop responsibility. You know what we do when we enter the classroom? We have a very preconceived plan in our mind, and we carry out the plan there and then. But we never give choices to the students. What do they want to do? If you have planned a kind of story writing, ask them to come up with the title for you. So if you're going to give them a liberty, a choice that they can actually come up to select a title for their story, I'm pretty sure they're going to feel responsible enough because they own their task then. Learners who have better positive self-concept interact more positively with other classmates. Learners who feel a sense of belonging take pride in their membership. So if they feel that they are part of this classroom, they are being listened to, they are being cared to, so they are going to take pride in their membership of the classroom. Basic principles for discipline: avoid power conflicts, put sound. You know, some children are going to have the dominance in the classroom. So if they have that power conflicts in them, put them down. Just share the responsibilities. Make everyone feel a worthy member of the classroom. Use private corrections. Isolate the misbehaving student. Never hit any child's self-esteem into the classroom. That's going to hurt them a lot. So if you feel that a child needs a kind of counseling, just isolates them, and then we have and seek out the causes of the misbehavior so the situation is less likely to reoccur. If you're going to find out the root cause of the misbehavior, I'm pretty sure that this situation is not going to reoccur. Learn to distinguish between minor and the major problems. Don't overreact. Sometimes we are so preoccupied and we do not expect such a minute misconduct in the classroom. You know what happens if there is any child who misbehaves and it is going to be a minor problem that can be rectified by using a counseling session, we tend to get overreact. And when we tend to get overreact, students just misbehave like anything. So in order to avoid them, just try to rectify what is minor and what is major problem. Respond to each situation in a very fair and consistent way. You need to be just in the classroom. If you're not going to be just in the classroom, what do? We distinguish students. This child is actually very good in studies. If he's going to do this kind of activity in the classroom, he's justified. No, because he's very good in studies. And this child, he's not very good in studies and he's always busy in other activities. We tend to rectify this issue quite often in the classroom that actually makes that child retaliate in the classroom, and he's going to be a problematic child in the classroom. So you need to be very fair, you need to be very just and consistent. Responses supporting self-control. So what are we going to do? You have to reinforce productive behavior. Use verbal praise and incentive. Even I'm adult, I feel, when somebody is going to praise me, I feel so privileged. I feel so motivated. So if you can think about the, kind of emotions of learners who are right there in the classroom and who are very young. Use non-verbal signals to show disapproval. You can see the gestures, eye movements, facial expressions. So when you have a chemistry with your learners, they read your facial expression and then they can also, know what to do and how to behave. Use proximity control, move towards and stand near while continuing to teach. You see that if child is misbehaving, just go and stand beside him or her. So he will feel that, no, I have to behave in the classroom because teacher is standing right next to me. Use learners' names in context of the lesson. Whenever you're having a classroom, so you can take the learner's name. They feel so privileged and honored, and that teacher is actually making me feel so important in the classroom. Redirecting a learner's attention, have learners take personal action, count to 10, put head down, go to timeout and sport like this. So you can use all these strategies. Implementing consequences, rules are privilege. Be sure that what you take away is valued by the student. You should, whatever you're going to do, it should be valued by the student. Otherwise, he's going to lose a privilege. Provide for in a class isolation. Be sure students cannot interact with their classroom. You can provide him in isolation, make him sit in isolation so he may not interact with the classmate and may not disturb them. Remove the learner in extreme cases. In extreme cases, I must suggest again, never leave the student alone in the hallway. This is going to hurt their self-esteem. They will feel, they might not be feeling the kind of embarrassment they should feel while standing in the hallway after some time, because they will feel, I'm always standing in the hallway. What's the big deal? And have someone escort person to the office. Making up wasted time keeping during recess or before after the class must have parental approval during off school hours. So you can restrain him or her that you are not going to go in the recess or the break because you did not behave well in the classroom. You're going to sit with me. So he will feel a kind of an urge to go out and have a play, so he will not repeat this action again. Involve parents and the school team, document them. You need to write down the date, the time, and the behavior and all the misbehaviors. And if you think so that you need to involve the parents and the school administration team, just have them in, and you have to post class rules and reiterate them often, and have a plan in the place to help the student. The student engagement, motivation, students are thinking about and working on academic learning activities. They're involved. Variety of activities help keep students from becoming bored by the same lesson day after day. So, you need to have a factor of novelty in your lessons. Field trips, go for field trips, go for guest speakers, small group works, debates, writing activities, independent works. So you can, have a variety of activities into your classroom to keep the element of boredom out of your classroom and have the factor of novelty that will keep the students engaged. Next, handling behavior. Then Rudolph Rutgers indicated that the students fall into one of the 4 areas of misbehaving. A student misbehaves to get recognition. If a child feels that he is not being heard in the classroom, he's going to misbehave, he's going to seek your attention by misbehaving. A student seeks revenge and inflicts emotional or physical pain or for others. A student defies authority to gain control. He says that I am the dominant member of the classroom, and student will withdraw from learning. So this is the handling misbehavior. Assertive discipline. Lee and Marlin Cantor wrote an article entitled Teach Students Responsibility by Giving Choices. He says, the Cantor said, teachers need to take charge of the classroom in a firm and positive manner. If you are not firm, if you're not positive, students will quickly can assess your body language, and they're going to have a kind of, then this teacher is very lenient. She doesn't mind if I'm not going to complete my work today. So if you do not mind your business, they're going to take leverage of it and they're going to misbehave in the classroom. Reward for compliance, consequences for breaking rules and posting of rules. So if he is going to perform very well, so you need to have have a reward for him. If he's going to break rule, make sure that he bears or faces the consequences, because if you will leave him, he is going to have a very kind of casual attitude in the classroom, that it doesn't mind if I'm going to misbehave again. So I'm pretty sure that you have learned a lot today from my webinar, and I'm pretty sure that I have actually given my message to all of you, that how can you have a very effective and disciplined classroom management in your classrooms. But still, if you think that I missed out something, and if you have any kind of comments, any kind of questions, any kind of suggestions, you can write to the eteacher@theevolution.com.pk, and they are going to contact me, and definitely I'm going to answer all of your queries, all of your questions, all of your thinking, so I can answer them. And in the end, I must say happy teaching and happy learning.